Hey there, welcome back. I actually did write. It's what, about 10:35 ish, whatever. So I wrote for a couple of hours. I only produced about 1,000 words, which isn't great, but it's not too shabby. So what I thought I would do is read a little bit, not of the new stuff that I wrote, because, that's crap, as we discussed before. Hasn't been through the sieve, the crap sieve. Uh, I would like to read something that I have written before that I like, I'm interested in, but I'm a little concerned about, and I guess I'll read it and then talk about it afterwards. Here goes. Tommy and Bud were sitting next to a fire in front of Bud's shack, which was a lean-to of crates and cardboard. On the ground next to them were empty paper plates and plastic utensils, evidence of the meal they had just finished. Bud picked at his teeth with a splinter off of one of the lean-to crates, and he stoked the fire as he rambled on. Yeah, I used to be a member of that pathetic men's club called the Business World, he snorted. Ha! Let me tell you what business is. It's a bunch of short, ugly little bald guys who can't get laid, you know what I mean? They channel all that sexual frustration into making money, and the uglier the richer, it's proportional. And I was one of them. All I lived for was money, working 60, 70 hours a week, buying, selling all day long. And then I'd go home, sleep for a few hours, and start the whole goddamn thing over again. I did that for 15 long years. Tommy had only been half listening. Bud sure could talk and didn't really seem to need anyone else involved while he was doing it. In the short time Tommy had spent with him, Bud had told him about much of his life in Boston as a young man of wealth and privilege. Tommy took most of what the old man had to say with a grain of salt because, well, he was obviously nuts, and his stories sounded like he told them so often that they came naturally to him now. Tommy believed he believed them as thoroughly as he believed anything. But then one day, my boy, I saw the light. I gave up everything I had. I gave all my money to various charities and goodwill organizations, and then I hit the streets. Tommy blinked and turned to Bud. Wait a minute, Tommy said. What was that? You gave up everything? What are you talking about? Bud nodded. That's right, I gave it all up. The money, the apartment, the car. They had become burdens too heavy for me to bear. It took a moment for Tommy to come back to Bud's story. So, wait, are you saying that you had tons of money and you gave it all away? Is that really so hard to believe? Bud said. Fuck yeah, it is, Tommy guffawed. Just like that, you didn't keep any money? Who would do that? Well, all right, Bud said a bit sheepishly. I kept maybe $100 or so, as transition money, but that certainly didn't last long. Tommy laughed, and Bud laughed along with him. What? You are so full of shit. Well, I suppose that's true, Bud said, but not about this. You must understand, when you are in the grip of an epiphany, of a true vision, when utter clarity breaks through, why then you must act or be lost, and that's what I was faced with, so I chose salvation. Tommy sat up. Look, nobody gives away all their money and chooses to live on the streets. This city's a fucking cesspool, even if you're loaded. That's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. Bud smiled at Tommy with sympathy. That's because you're still addicted. Right, Tommy said dismissively. Money is a narcotic, my friend, Bud continued, and just about everyone you meet is a user. People chase it like they were junkies, and the more they have, the more they want, and the more it destroys them. Yeah, well, I could use a fix myself right now, Tommy spat back. He flopped down against his duffel bag, suddenly depressed by a world that could produce the violent psychosis of a man like his own father, or the mild delusions in an old bum like Bud. And then he wondered if he were crazy himself. So anyway, the reason why I read this was because I was a little concerned about the character of Bud. He sort of comes off a little like this kind of Dickensian character who appears out of nowhere and, spouts a few words of wisdom and then disappears back into the streets. And I wasn't sure it quite worked, but anyway, just thought I'd read it and put it out there. And if it doesn't work, well, you know, that I guess will remain to be seen. So we'll see you tomorrow.